everyone, I hope you're well. Today we will be talking about some music theory and some of the very basics of how we can learn how to read music. So I will be running through the stave, the treble clef, bass clef, and in between how to read the notes through the lines and also through the spaces in our right hand and also in our left hand, as well as some of the key signatures. So we are just smoothly running through some of the very basics of how we can read music. So, very first thing, what is a stave? So you'll see a picture of a stave here, and this is where we can read the music from. So then we are moving on to our treble clef, which looks like this. And whenever you see this sign, you know it is the place to use your right hand. So this sign means use your right hand. And this sign, which is bass clef, means use your left hand. So now we have our stave, which is where we read from. We have our treble clef, meaning using our right hand, and we have our bass clef, which means using our left hand. So let's stick with our right hand for now, and let's look at how we can read our piece. So in our stave, we have 5 lines and 4 spaces. Let's start with our right hand, how we can read our spaces. And you can see here, we have F, A, C, and E, and this spells face. So we always read up and we can read our space as F, A, C, or E. We can count as we work our way up, and that's how we can read our right hand spaces. So moving on then to our right hand lines, we have E, G, B, D, F. And I always remember this whenever I was younger. We always learned this through the rhyme, every good boy deserves food. And this is always how I remember reading it, and that is how I read up. Even now, I'll read every good boy, oh, that must be B, and so on and so forth. Always moving up from the bottom up to the top. So let's move on to our left hand. How can we read that? So our left hand spaces are A, C, E, and G. And I always remember the rhyme for this, all cows eat grass, all cows eat grass. So I remember it through A, C, E, and G, and then I can always count my way up A, C, E, and then I can know that it's E because I can see it in that space. So moving on to our last one, which is how we can read our lines in our left hand. So we have G, B, D, F, A, good boys deserve food always. So let's move on now to some of the key signatures. So how can I read those? So let's start off with whenever you see a hashtag, that is a sharp. So we know on our harp, if we want to move up one of our levers in order to make it more sharp, we need to put one up. So if we see a hashtag on the certain line, and again now you have your rhyme so that you can count, you know that that is the note that you need to put up your sharp. Okay, now moving on to a flat. If you see a B rather than a curved B, more of a thin B, that is a flat. And that means that we need to put one of our harp levers down. So say for example, if you see a piece and it has 2 hashtags and they say F and C, we know we have to put our F and C levers up, which means that we're in the key of D. Moving on to our time signatures. So normally we will have, for now, either 4/4 time or 3/4 time. And what that means is just how many beats per bar. So if you are in 4/4 time, you will have 4 beats per bar. Or if you were in 3/4 time, that's more of a waltz, you will have 3 beats per bar. So if you have a crotchet, which looks like this counts for 1 beat. If you have a minim, that is exactly like a crotchet but has a hole inside, that counts for 2 beats. And if you have a quaver, which looks like this, so it is like a crotchet with a little tail on it, that will count for a half beat. And then lastly, if you see a semi-breve, which looks like this, it is just a full circle with a hole in it, that is going to count you for 4 whole beats. So if we pair it all now into one, you'll see this piece here, and you'll see the notation inside. We can see crotchets, we can see quavers, we can see a time signature, we can see a key signature. So we know what key we're in, we know what notes we have to play, and we know that from our lines and our spaces on our stave. So I hope that that is helpful. Very quick introduction to how to learn how to read music, and please let me know if you have any questions or problems, and I would be more than happy to help you on your music theory journey as well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial.